What's going on, you amazing people? So here's part two to my two-part series about my expensive purchase and why I kind of regret it. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's continue. So anyways, once I got home from work, I left the car there and I was like, shit, it's the end of the week. I can't necessarily make any phone calls because people are just like, on their weekend. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? So essentially what I was doing was just kind of looking around the car, the engine, trying to get it to turn on, and it turned on just fine. So I was like, what the fuck happened? So I just couldn't figure it out. And then I had a lot of confidence in my mechanic to be like, hey, like, I told him like, hey, I just bought a new car, like the engine's about to give out. And I told him the whole thing about how I had sugar in the gas tank. And then he said that it's something that he can do. He's worked on them before. And I can't exactly remember, but he said something about don't let them sit in the cold for too long or something like that because it'll speed up the process. So every day I always try to turn on the car, leave it on, rev it to at least keep it warm. And I guess he got a little too busy with fixing another car. So when I kept calling him, he was just busy, didn't have time. And then it got to the point where the car just wouldn't turn on. It wouldn't even crank. It just sounded like metal. And it was a nasty, nasty fucking sound, okay? So anyways, once the engine officially gave out, I was like, fuck. So I ended up making a few phone calls the following week on a Monday, sometime during the week. And from there, I was offered about 3 different engines, same engines, different prices with different mileage. And the one that I ended up going for was a 80,000 mile for almost 3K, which is honestly not that bad. So once I bought it, one of my friends recommended me one of his mechanics that ended up doing his engine swap on his Mustang that he blew up. Well, that was all on him. Anyways, so once I managed to get in contact with him, I gave him the car like maybe 2 weeks later. And I didn't see the car until the end of May. So essentially almost 2 months without the car. Because all of this took place in about April, I believe. So I went a long time without the car. Anyways, from there, I ended up calling him like every now and then just to get little updates. And he said he was just like working on it. Like just like, the regular stuff. And after that, the day finally comes. He tells me that the car's ready. If I wanted to go pick it up. And I said I couldn't. Because around this whole week I was busy, and I told him that, hey, if you can bring it over, I'd pay a little extra. And he said, no, it's okay. I can take it over today. And by the time he took it to my house, it was practically nighttime. So practically, once he came over, gave him the money, and then he was just telling us a little bit about the car, how I should do a few oil changes before I decide to like completely floor this thing and really test its potential. So I'm like, okay, not that bad. You know what? Once that little scare gave me, I don't want to really abuse the shit out of the car. Let me just go ahead and get used to it. But anyways, once he leaves, I decide to test drive it just a little bit, I'm excited. I finally got the car back. Let me drive it. So I finally drove it. I left my house and I see 2 cop cars going by. I didn't think much about it because I'm like, I just got the car back. I'm going to be driving slow, Nothing suspicious. And I noticed that the cop cars do a U-turn, both of them. And I'm like, what the fuck? There's no way. I'm 5 minutes into the car and they're already about to stop me. So I take a left turn. He takes a left turn. I take another left turn. He goes straight. And I'm like, whoa. And I got scared. So what I did was I was in second gear the whole time. So I went to third and then I went to fourth. So I was at a very low speed at a high gear. So when I floor it, it's going to go very slow and you won't hear it because that car is really loud. But anyways, once I left, I did practically like a few left turns and it led me back into my house. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not going to drive the car right now because the cops were following me. My parents were like, yeah, we saw that. And I'm like, shit. So anyways, I didn't get stopped. I was pretty happy. So from there, I let the car rest, cleaned it up a little bit, and then I took it to work. I drove around with it, showed my friends, and honestly, all those issues were gone. But in the back of my head, I had that trauma about what if this happens again. But other than that, that's how the story time ends. I have the car's fixed. I'm planning to do a bunch of crazy shit to it. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy about it. I like the car, so I'm not necessarily complaining. So if you guys enjoyed this story time, make sure to like and subscribe. If you guys learned anything from this story time, is to make sure you spend your hard-earned money on something that's really worth it. Unless if you want to take the risk, I definitely did, and I learned a lot from it, not only from my experience, but learned a lot about that car and just cars in general. So at the end of the day, it's a little bit of an investment, and I'm pretty happy and satisfied. But sometimes I do regret it, but I'm happy that I did it. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.